E-learning, or electronic learning, is the delivery of education and training through digital resources. While it's not a particularly new method, its inclusion across various sectors has been accelerated due to the COVID-19 pandemic. At this school in Dubai Hills, like many others, most of the children return to classes at the start of the new term, but they're delivering a mix of distance and in-person teaching.
It was, for me personally, a learning curve. I faced social challenges, to be honest. I missed my students. I missed teaching. I missed the classrooms. I think the lessons itself were still great. What I definitely brought into the classroom is the technology. When I teach with the iPad, I try to embed all these technical things in the classroom. There are good things and there are big advantages.
In many schools, the decision to continue with e-learning was made by students and their parents. According to the UAE's Ministry of Education, for the academic year 2020 to 2021, 17% returned to classroom teaching, while 83% chose to continue distance learning.
I think there is a role for e-learning. I think we've all learnt a lot, but there is a note of caution. It's not a panacea. I mean, in education, quite often you say, this is the next best thing, this is the thing, this will solve it all. And of course it won't. It's just taking the best from it, the best platforms, the best teaching, and realising that there is best practice, even through the GEMS group, to take from each other and to share around the world.
Classrooms like these are how most of us experienced going to school. But with the outbreak of the pandemic, teaching switched from offline in places like this to online in students' homes to accommodate social distancing. But going forward, will we see e-learning form a greater part of how education is delivered, or will we see a return to classrooms where we can have that face-to-face experience? In some fields, delivering blended learning is already being used effectively. This programme aims to equip learners and educators with the new competencies and skills for the future.
Even long before the pandemic, my team and I would constantly try to advocate that innovation in education isn't just about taking the content and moving it online. You also have to be innovative with curriculum, with pedagogy, teaching methods, even the way you structure a lesson and activities. And so that's something we try to do at our academy. We don't just innovate at a technological level, we also innovate at designing alternative curriculum and assessment methods.
Whilst e-learning was implemented for safety during the pandemic, many have concerns over the impact that being out of school has had on children.
So the main thing that I liked about online learning was that I could sit in the comfort of my own home.
I miss my friends a lot. So I think that's something all students were looking forward to, like when we're next going to be able to see other people from our classes.
So when we started e-learning in March, I actually didn't like it, just because it's that interaction, the motivation, seeing my friends, seeing the teachers. When I came back in September, it's just a whole experience that we missed from March till the end of July.
It's a really cool way of learning, you know. There's less stress.
With huge advancements in the technology, e-learning is also a commercially viable business idea.
Of course, it's about the only educational solution right now that's pandemic-proof. It's scalable, it has a geographical reach, it's very cost-effective.
Universities have historically offered distance learning, with several reporting an increase in demand during COVID-19.
I know a lot of people who had done courses during lockdown. And I think the science of wellbeing was something that kind of spoke to me, because during this last few months of lockdown, understanding what wellbeing is to me and what happiness is to me has been really important.
While for many adults and children, e-learning can provide qualifications and new career pathways, it seems the blended approach, at least in mainstream education, will continue to dominate here in Dubai for the foreseeable future.
What used to take decades to do is now happening in a matter of weeks. Over 500 million people have come online in terms of learning. E-learning is amazing, technology is great, but it does not replace the human connection. And that human connection is what it's about. As we learn more, we also need to connect at a human level in terms of relationships, empathy, love, compassion, trust.
Dubai has long embraced e-learning and innovation, but the widespread adoption was accelerated by the pandemic. In this new age, it's clear that students, parents and educators are facing many challenges as we navigate the path forward.